Welcome to the Horror Hangout, a podcast where film fans watch the best and worst horror movies of all time and talk about them. But of course, occasionally we go a little bit left field and we go out and talk to someone involved with a video game or a book. So today's episode is a bonus episode chatting all about a newly released horror book released today at time of recording on May the 1st. My name is Ben Errington, and today I'm joined by a very special guest, Aron Beauregard, a horror author possessed by the strange, macabre, and unnerving, and writer of the nasty creature feature, Horsefly. Welcome to the show, Aron. Hello.
Hey, thanks for having me. Looking forward to chatting, and thanks to everybody listening.
Amazing, yeah. Welcome. Thank you for joining us, of course. Thanks for taking time out on the day the book's released. How are you feeling?
Feeling good. So far, it's number one on Amazon for US horror, so that's a good start.
That's a great
And
start.
yeah, so hopefully it keeps going. I've been pretty fortunate. Got some good early release readers that kind of checked it out and hyped it up. And the
Mm.
book's a unique experience, which I think, I know you said you guys talk mainly about movies. And that's in part why I'm kind of interested to talk to your crowd. But I don't know if you have specific stuff lined up, but I'll talk a little more about the movie aspect of the
Yeah,
book.
yeah. I mean, I've got everything down about the multimedia aspect of this book. Again, this is something that drew me to it. I saw, as I said to you before we hit record, I'd seen the cover like in a few different places, and I'd seen people sort of reacting to the book. They'd read it early, and I thought, yeah, I'm gonna have to talk to you because on this show we do like a creature feature. So great to see one in book form, I guess.
Awesome. Yeah. And I won't blow the load early then. I'll let you
Don't blow the load
guide
early,
us,
please don't.
guide
That's
us through it, you
leave
know?
that to me. All right. Okay, right. Let's some details on the book, Horsefly. So, in terms of synopsis, Zach and LeeAnn have agreed to an unorthodox adventure. They plan on meeting with some open-minded friends in an isolated forest and testing the foundation of their relationship. But unbeknownst to them, their romantic bond isn't the only thing that will be challenged. The monstrosity lurking in the woods will test their courage, resilience, and will to survive. And that monstrosity, and this isn't blowing the load early because we know that, is a bloody massive steroid infected lab conjured disease, bizarre side effect affected. That's not a sentence. The horsefly.
Yes,
Wow.
absolutely. How could you not have that, you know?
Yeah. I mean, how could you not have? I feel like every book needs at least one monstrosity that's been created in a lab fueled by steroids. I mean, I guess I was going to talk to you about like certain early parts of your career, but I will just say where did the idea for this monstrosity exactly? Where did it come from originally?
Well, at my house, these big ass horseflies would harass us near the pool, and they were huge, dude. Like they were the size of like silver dollars, and
Oh my
they're
God.
and I got to thinking, like, I had always wanted to do a creature feature, and I hadn't really done a creature feature like a full on creature feature yet, but I wanted it to be a little bit different, and I just thought it was interesting after getting attacked by these horseflies that like it's such a terrifying creature, like they're so aggressive, they're violent, they feed on your blood. And doing more research on them, they literally have like a fucking chainsaw for a mouth almost is what they have. It
Oh my
goes and it
God.
saws into you and then they lap up the blood, right? And so I was like, why hasn't anyone done a horsefly? You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like a horse, like to my knowledge, I hadn't really seen a horsefly done. And these are very aggressive creatures. So I was like, this is perfect for splatter.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely perfect for splatter. A chainsaw for a mouth. That sounds horrific. We do have horseflies in the UK. I want to say they're not as aggressive as that, as the way you described them then. Well, not in the book, of course, but just in
yeah.
terms of your experience. But even the name of it, there's something weird about it, isn't it? It sounds like some sort of like Norse mythology thing or something like the horsefly or something coming at you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just got something that's a little bit different, and you always want to do that. Like pretty much most of the shit that's written these days, to some extent, is going to be a retread, right? There's so much stuff that's out there So you got to try and find at least like little ways to make it your
Mm.
own. And I think I was able to do that with the creature, with the experience of the book, right? And then like as far as like the multimedia aspect, and then just you have to do character work as well. You can't
Mm.
just have hollow characters and I got some really good characters. I think I got some good laughs, some good kills, and some good emotion too. You get a little bit of everything.
Yeah, because Splatter's not just one dimensional, is it? There's absolutely tons going on.
Yeah, it can be, but those to me that stuff kind of tends to bore me. Like if I'm not
Mm.
invested in the characters that are trying to survive, to some extent, you know what I mean? If it's like a horror comedy, that's a little more forgiving, I think. But I like to have people invested and at least be able to maybe like relate to some of the shit that the characters are going through in some way. And
Mm.
that's why I tend to use a lot of like pieces of real life experience in my work. Um,
Sure.
but then it's like cranked up to 11, right?
Mm.
And we just add all this imagination and crazy shit on top of it to make it fun.
Yeah. I guess something that's quite unique about the titular creature as well is that we've given something that's quite unique is the horsefly. I guess there's some POV stuff from the horsefly, right? Because in the synopsis it says the horsefly tries to work through her bodily changes, haunted by existential questions. Why was she chosen to usher forth the evolution of her species? Why does she have an addictive urge to slaughter and feast? So are we kind of like going back and forth between the point of view of these characters who are being sort of like stalked by this creature and the creature as well?
Yeah, there is POV from the horsefly. It's pretty great too. Like usually it starts out and it'll just be like like and it's like the horsefly's having a thought and you'll actually get to check out like some of the horsefly's thoughts and like imagine if we
Yeah,
were the ants kind of, right? And like we
yeah.
were like I relate it to like alien abduction almost like a human
Mm,
could probably relate to it like that, right? Like oh shit, like why did the aliens choose me and fucking change all this shit with me? You know
mm,
what I mean? Like I was chosen, you know what I mean? And
yeah.
maybe this is the evolution of species, like what, you know what I mean? Like, and so the horsefly is kind of asking itself these questions, but at the same time, it's infected with this fucking it's called disease X, it's a lab conjured
Disease
disease,
X. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it has all these fucked up side effects.
Mm.
So I won't spoil all of the side effects, but there's some fun stuff in there, you know?
Yeah, I bet. It just sounds that was again another thing that drew me to it because I very recently listened to an audio version of the short story The Things, which is like from the Things point of view, from the John Carpenter movies, Aliens point of view, and
Oh, cool.
I found that really fascinating because it's not something I've really ever thought about before. So that was great. And this kind of, when I was reading the synopsis of that, I was like, okay, I like the idea of that. Something that, we'd never truly know the faults of this creature, especially like an insect as well. Interesting to
It
see
just
what it
makes
was
it
thinking.
just makes it fun, Like it makes it a little bit comedic, but also like it's fun to think about what the creature's thinking, I like
Yeah.
to write from the villain point of view.
Yeah.
And even in this case, I'm not sure that the horsefly is necessarily the villain,
Of course. Yeah.
like that's more for the reader to judge, I think, but
Poor old
it's
misunderstood horsefly. Just
yeah.
trying to go about her business. Leave her to it, will you? So you say this is like the first time you've sort of done the creature feature thing. Obviously, you've done a lot of, I guess, human-based splatter as well, like the worst of the worst, the worst of the
Yeah.
worst people. So, how did the process kind of like compare for this book compared to the others?
Um, well, interesting thing about creature feature is okay, so like human horror has to be grounded enough in reality that you don't lose the reader, right? And they
Mm,
can't be like, well, that's wouldn't happen. This is human horror. Like, what the fuck, right? Then you have supernatural horror, right? Which is the complete other side of the spectrum where you can do anything that you want. You could literally do anything and everything's a playground. And I've actually written more supernatural horror probably a little later in my career,
hmm
just because I didn't do a ton of it early on, right? And you want to show your range, you want to explore new topics, you want to keep your readers interested and not just sort of the same thing. Um, I'm going to go back to human horror too, and I do bounce back to it as well.
Mm,
Later in my career, I have with like Playground Child of Divorce and some of that stuff. But
mm,
the interesting thing about Horsefly and Creature Feature is like Creature Feature is like almost like a fucking middle space, right?
mm.
It's not necessarily supernatural. It's you know what I mean? It's still kind of like made by man in a way, right?
Yeah.
But you can do more with it. So I look at it as like, it's kind of like this middle space. It's very interesting,
Mm.
and you could do certain things with it that you can't do with supernatural or human horror. So it was really fun to write, you
Do you have
know.
to be in a different sort of like creative headspace to do like human horror, supernatural horror, and this creature feature in the middle? Do you have to be like for the human horror stuff? Do you have to be in a real foul, sort of like foul mood to like create some of the stuff you've created in the past?
Yeah, I think it depends, like I'm always writing, so whatever I'm going through in life tends to translate in one way or another. So you can tell when there are really dark moments in my life if you look at my
I
writing career
see.
chronologically. You know what I mean? And it's just, I don't know, like some of it is emotion, right? But you don't want to let emotion control your work. You kind of want to channel emotion into your work strategically, which is hard to do, right? Um, because you still need to have shit that makes sense. The plot, the characters, the character arcs, right? All that
Mm,
stuff has to make sense. You can't be emotional about that, right?
mm,
But you can add emotion into it, um, without overdoing it, so to speak. So, yeah, so I guess that's kind of, as far as headspace goes, I just roll with whatever, wherever I'm at, and hope
mm.
for the best.
Roll with the punches, yeah. What is your kind of turnaround? Because obviously you've done 20 books so far, which is a lot. So I mean, what in terms of the process? I mean, I'm not going to ask you to any trade secrets or anything like that, but in terms of the process, do you find it is it like a full year long experience for you writing the book, sort of doing all the promotion for it, or does it tend to move by a bit faster than that?
Yeah, and that bio you might have read that from, that's a little bit older. I'm at this point probably like 35 books
Oh
now.
my God, wow.
Yeah, so
Jesus, nearly
it's a
double.
lot.
So God.
But it depends on the story. Um so
Yeah.
like there are some stories like I thought about Playground Child of Divorce, which is the prequel to the first
Mm.
Playground book, which Playground's my most popular book. That one went viral and it
Yeah. I
sold
mean,
hundreds of thousands of copies, and it's still got a huge fan base to this day, even though it came out years back.
I
But
think that
like,
may have been the first book I saw with your name attached to it, and just the cover. I mean, we'll talk about covers and illustrations in a minute, but that cover, it's just one of those, isn't it? Where you go, okay, right, yeah, I'm probably gonna want to read that.
yeah, it kind of like became iconic in the horror community, which is crazy.
Mm.
That's like a fucking huge honor. And yeah, like you said, we'll talk about artists and stuff because I want to give credit there too. But in regards to like process,
Mm.
I would say like I thought about because that book was so popular, I didn't want to disappoint readers, and I didn't want to. I could have churned out a product pretty quickly just to capitalize on it, right?
Hmm.
Just because of how successful it was. I have the capability to do that, to sit down and do that,
Mm.
but I didn't want to make it cheap. You know what I mean? So I
Sure.
spent 2 years literally like thinking about it, sort of debating what it was going to be. And it took me 2 years of thinking about it to like really settle. But when I settled, I wrote the first draft in like 2 weeks. Like
Wow. Wow. Okay.
2 week period, I was just literally doing
Incredible.
nothing else but writing and listening to music.
Hmm.
And it just exploded out. But there are other books, that sometimes you take a break from them too. Sometimes, like the first Playground book, that was just going to be a short novelette that I was going to put up on my website. That's what it started out as. I was like, oh, this is a fun concept. But then as I started fleshing out the characters, I was like, man, I want to like give more details on these people and these kids and who are they and why are they here?
Mm.
And it turned into one of my longer books, like a 350-page book. And but I had to pause writing it several times because sometimes you just don't have the direction that you want to go.
Mm,
And I'm not a person that will force it because I have so many competing ideas anyway. Sometimes I can pivot, and
I
that's
see.
okay. Pivot to something else, work that, and then the idea comes back for the other shit
Mm,
eventually, and you're like, that fits. And then, but like I said, some other things they just go seamless, and you go all the way through them. But
mm.
I'm pretty fortunate right now, especially because I had like with Horsefly, I had like four books finished, so it's like I have years of content
Oh,
to
amazing.
release. It's not really content. I have years of books to release, right?
Yeah.
Um, and so I can kind of like take my time and really do what I want at this point.
Yeah, amazing. No pressure, no pressure to write the next big one or the next sequel, I guess. Do you ever pivot like mid writing something? Do you ever go like, I'm not sure how this is going, I'm going to pivot to something else and then maybe come back to it? Or do you feel like that's
Yeah.
probably
Yeah,
detrimental to the
that's kind of
project?
what I was talking about. Like I'll
That's what you
pivot,
meant.
like
Okay, sure.
yeah, like if something if the progression of the book doesn't feel right,
Mm,
I'll be like, well, instead of going down that road, doing a bunch of work when I know something's not quite right, why not just think about it more and maybe knock out a short story I got to do or
yeah.
start on another book. Like I have a couple books that are started that, I just chip away at and, you know,
Like
but if I get momentum with one, then I'm just,
then you're
I
gone.
also
Yeah.
run essentially a small business. So it's like
Yeah.
there's a lot of other shit to do. Like I don't have a major publisher.
Mm.
This is a good time to talk about this real quick, actually. I'll just, since we're on this topic,
Yeah,
but
yeah, let's do it. Of
so
course.
I do everything myself, essentially. I hire editors to edit my books.
Hmm.
I hire illustrators and artists to make illustrations and covers. And when I do multimedia experiences, I hire animators. Everything I do is AI free. I would never use AI in my work, and I just like to make that clear. And I'm against it in the arts. Whatever else
Mm,
it can do in
absolutely.
society, we'll see. But I just think it's a fucking cheap thing,
Mm.
and it's an insult to people who are buying books and wanting the human experience
Hmm.
that can't create.
Absolutely.
But
I'm totally with you on that. And I think like when you do see it, especially in the art, especially in like writing and in books and that is when it feels like even less sincere than anywhere else, I think.
yeah, it's just churning out slop.
Mm.
But to your point about, I mean, sorry, to my point about like pivoting and stuff. Because I do everything myself, right? I'm always doing stuff like I could be revising edits on a book. I might not always I haven't written in almost 2 months. I have moved and stuff, so that's part of it. But also I just released Horsefly, and so like the months before that, I have to send out all the hardcovers myself. Like I ship out the deluxe editions to people. I have to do the marketing online. I have to
Mm.
communicate with different people to try and generate buzz, no pun intended. And there's just so many things. There's so many different things that you have. Like if you're gonna do this as, on your own without the help of a publisher,
Sure.
you have to master everything. You know,
Yeah. Full-time
it's a
job
lot.
with everything you got to do. And I mean, your marketing's working because, as I said, it definitely caught my attention with all the buzz, pun intended, that time on Horsefly. So something's definitely working. And we've obviously talked about you going viral on TikTok, and that was Playground, but I'm sure it's worked with other books as well. It's a great tool, isn't it? Social media for sort of discovering audiences and sort of establishing a loyal readership, isn't it?
Absolutely. It is an interesting and mysterious tool as well, though, and dangerous tool at times. So, um, you know, to someone like me, I've seen a lot, I've seen a lot of hate, which is expected. I don't cry about it. I actually like appreciate it
Mm,
because actually like the hate and outrage spawned from some of my work going viral is what made it successful. It's what created interest in other people.
sure.
because not everybody thinks alike. Some people see somebody flying off the handle about something and they're like, oh, that's kind of my shit. Maybe I should check that out, you know?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I've seen magazines, give me like 1-star reviews on my work, like published periodicals, at
Yeah,
like bookstores and stuff. And I'll reach out to the person. I'll be like, thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm
yeah.
sorry it wasn't for you. Maybe another one would be for you, but
Mm,
I appreciate you like taking the time to write about it. Because and that's the thing, like if you're a newer writer, you can easily fall victim to, well, everybody needs to love my book, you
mm.
know.
Yeah, yeah,
And,
sure.
you can get hurt very easily. And of course, everybody's like that in the beginning.
Mm,
But I quickly understood because of social media, um, how powerful hate is, and what an actual useful marketing tool it is if you lean into it the right way.
sure, sure.
Like there are always going to be people that make shit up about you and start rumors, and they're like, "Oh yeah, this is what he gets off on. Like he hates A, B, and C," and they don't understand this, guys. This is I don't know if you've heard of fiction.
Yeah,
It's not real. And no, we don't. It's not the Bible. We don't believe in it and worship it. It's just a fucking silly book, right?
yeah,
But if you can just lean into that just the right amount and tote that line of
sure.
not being an asshole, right?
Mm,
But
yeah.
also being like, yeah, I kind of ruffled a few feathers, guys.
Mm.
What's up? Uh, that works. That
Yeah.
works, and it's worked well for me. So,
There we go. Yeah. I mean, it definitely works for me. Like usually sometimes if I see like if I start seeing reviews, this is the worst thing. I'm not talking about any of your work. Let's talk about movies. If somebody says this is the worst movie or this is the most despicable movie ever and like it's 0 stars, 1 star or something, I'll be more interested to check it out. Even if it is genuinely like a bad film. I'm like, well, I'm
right.
probably going to be more entertained by this than something else. So, but yeah, it definitely works. And there's so much selective outrage on the internet anyway. Like
Right.
all it takes is a couple of minutes to just look at your body of work and look at the kind of things you've put out and be like, okay, I understand a bit more now. Um, yeah, was
Yeah,
there?
it's kind of like pro wrestling, dude. Like when the wrestler comes out,
Hell yeah,
right? You either want to cheer him or you want to boo him.
yeah,
If you got a bunch of people just going, like no reaction,
yeah,
right? I love the people that hate my shit and I love the people that love my shit. Of course, I love the people that love it a little bit more because like, they're the true supporters. But
yeah.
I love the hate too, and like that's important. You could be that heel in writing or in movies or whatever you want to do. And sometimes that works.
I guess in your genre, maybe a little bit easier because it is so extreme on one end that it's clearly not for certain consumers of fiction, is it?
No,
Some
definitely not. Yeah, and
some
that's
people are going to lose their minds.
that's another point that I like to make with my stuff and like with people getting into this and trying to write this is that it's not supposed to be for everyone. Like that's
No.
kind of the point of it, is that
Mm,
it's not supposed to be for everyone. It's like I go back to like high school, I always wanted like underground shit, stuff that
mm.
everybody else wasn't listening to, or like movies that everybody else wasn't watching, like weird stuff that wasn't mainstream. Um,
Absolutely, yeah.
that's kind of what you're doing in a way with splatterpunk horror.
Mm. Um, yeah, absolutely. So we were going to talk about the immersive entertainment experience. So Horsefly, it contains over 11 minutes of complimentary animated video, 15 interior illustrations. Um, so let's talk about the illustrations first. Is the cover illustration the same as the interior ones? Different?
Yes, those are done by Anton Rozovsky, who you mentioned the Playground cover. He also did the cover for Playground.
Wow.
He's probably done most of my covers, and he did the cover for The Slob, which is also like another viral book that I wrote. Um, so really, yeah, he in the extreme horror and splatterpunk community, he's looked at as like an iconic artist
Mm.
based on just a few of the things he's done for me. He's done a bunch of stuff for other people too. He's great.
Yeah, it looks superb. Can we talk a bit about the illustrations inside as well?
Yeah, so there are 15 of them. They are black and white. But yeah, they're pretty nasty. Some different, I like to, I'll do some that aren't just pure nastiness, but I like a good kill illustration. You gotta use that space. You gotta put a few kills in the illustration at least.
Yeah.
It's just too not to.
What I like about the cover is just somebody in the cabin in the background, just like with hands on their head, just like
Yeah.
it's those details that are so great, isn't it? But yeah, it's so nasty. I was just staring at it for ages. Like I was staring at the brain suck, and then I looked down and I went, oh, and arm's missing.
Yep. Let's get rid of his arm too.
Yeah, he doesn't
And that's
need
the
that.
thing, going back, I did like a bunch of research on like horseflies and shit and like how their mouths work, which believe it or not, it's like really hard to find information on them. I
Mm.
had to read like these weird college papers written by people and shit. It's not like you could
Oh
just turn
wow.
on National Geographic and they have a horsefly special. Like I thought they would. They didn't though. The research was kind of hard, but the stuff I did learn about them, it was terrifying.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
mean, yeah, the cover definitely. I know it's not real life, but still, I'm pretty terrified of horseflies now. And in terms of the videos as well, so there's QR codes throughout the book, isn't there? Which you
Yes.
scan to kind of watch these particular videos. Can we talk about them?
Yes, so I worked with an incredible animator, Jorge Jaramillo. This is the second time I've worked with him. Originally worked with him on a book called Benjamin, which I co-authored with screenwriter and author Shane McKenzie.
Mm.
Uh, and it follows $100 bill through the hands of several criminals over
Oh
like
wow, okay.
some time in this degenerate city. Um, and so what the experience for Horsefly, when I wrote the book, I didn't know that I was going to do immersive entertainment for it and put videos in it.
Hmm.
Um, but after writing it, I saw the opportunity. And that was only because there were these little gaps in the book where shit happened, and you didn't need to see that it happened. You know what I
Sure.
mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, what if I did show it? Like, what if I showed it? You know?
Yeah.
Um, And so that's when I reached out to Jorge and told him about the project and asked him if he'd be interested. And after pitching it to him, he's like, this is funny. Like the idea of it is fun and it's like funny too. Like we knew we could make the videos kind of have some comedic elements and just make people laugh and have fun with it. But also add some cool gore and stuff in them, you know. And so there are three places. There's an introduction by me on the first QR code.
Mm.
But yeah, as people read the book, you'll just get to different junctures and you'll just scan it and you get three little videos. The last one is actually pretty much a short film. It's a short animated film.
Oh
That one's a
wow.
bit longer.
Mm.
Uh, and yeah, it's just a way, in my opinion, to keep people engaged, especially like the movie people. Because I know there's a lot of movie people that'll look at a book and be like, "Eh, I don't know." You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know if I could do it. And I think with Horsefly, this is a unique opportunity for folks like that kind of want to read but never really push themselves to.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah.
and it's for a few reasons. The first reason is that Horsefly is written like a movie. So it's fast paced, right? It's not like this fucking paperweight of a book that's going to be this daunting, massive experience, right? It reads about the length of a movie. Like if you were watching a movie, it would
Mm.
read just like maybe watching two movies almost is about what it comes out to, I think. Um, and you have illustrations, 15 within it, right, to keep your sensories going. And then you have those junctures where you get videos as well. So it's like I wrote it in a way that it's for the screen. You know what
Mm.
I mean? It reads very much like a movie. We're not sitting there talking about the color of a wall for 20 minutes, you know? Um, and I think it's a good thing for like potential people who are only into movies to check out just because it's so different, you know?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And this is a completely like unique experience. I mean, I don't think I've read a book where I scan QR codes and watch video. Maybe like some comic books, I think, maybe, but it's really unique. Do you think it's something that is gonna be like a constant in your creative work from now on, or do you feel like certain projects?
I think certain projects only because like the logistics of it and everything that I have to set up and do and all the
Yeah.
like it's all again goes all on me, right? I don't like
Yeah.
Jorge makes the videos, right?
Yeah.
But the whole process of how people view them, where they go, like the platform they're hosted, all the shit that could potentially go wrong, I
Mm.
kind of like cherry pick projects for it, you know? So it's just yeah, it's just a lot, and it does bump up the cost of the product a little bit. Luckily, with Horsefly, it's a shorter book, so I didn't. It's pretty much the same standard pricing that I have with my other stuff,
Mm.
but you get the immersive experience with it, which
Yeah.
is pretty, you know.
Absolutely. What did you storyboard these videos when you got something like
I wrote scripts for them
mm.
basically, so because there is dialogue in all of them, and then I provided those scripts to Jorge, and he sort of figured out the schematics and animations. So basically, like I wrote, he animated, and we both directed essentially. That's how the
Yeah.
credits would be for them.
Amazing. Amazing. But yeah, you're definitely getting your value for money then, aren't you? If you purchase Horsefly. Can we talk about like where the best place to purchase it from is or where it's available?
So, best place and most affordable would probably be Amazon. You
Mm.
can get the ebook for $5.99, and that comes with all the illustrations and all the immersive
Amazing.
experience just for basically a cup of coffee, right?
Mm.
And if you want the paperback, that's a little more expensive. Those are $15.99. But they're really nice. I think they look really, it's a cool showpiece in my opinion.
Mm.
If you want the audiobook also has
Sweet.
an attached PDF. So at different junctures, Chuck Brugge is the narrator, and he's done an incredible job with several of my books and many other author books. And basically, it comes with an attached PDF that has the QR codes and links. So at different junctures of the audiobook, you could click off
Mm.
and watch those videos. And lastly, um, at my website, abhorror.com, there is a deluxe signed hardcover edition of the book, which has a dual cover with like a lime green hard case cover and special horsefly art. And then the traditional cover that you're seeing on social media is the dust jacket,
Mm.
and those come signed, and those are like the true collector's pieces, and you get like a high quality fridge magnet, a horsefly pin, and a collectible bookmark along with the signed copy. So
Amazing. I mean, your website is a treasure trove of merchandise as well, isn't it? There's absolutely tons of stuff on there.
yeah, dude, it's like I run a whole store out of my house basically. So
Yeah.
it's like there's a lot here, but people seem to enjoy it, and I get a lot of attention, especially around release time. So I'm
Mm.
grateful for it, and anybody who checks it out.
Amazing. Absolutely. It'd be great for you to come over to the UK for a convention at some point in the future. Absolutely. Or Germany, as you mentioned before as well.
Yeah, I got to do it at some point. I got to get my shit together.
Yeah, amazing, man. Okay. Well, thanks so much for joining me, Aaron. I was going to ask you about what you're working on currently or next, but you said you kind of like got four things ready to go. Is there any project that you're able to talk about at this stage? I know you've just released a book, so it's a big question, I know.
Yeah, I would say like I'm working on a collaboration with a friend of mine, Roland Bursey Jr., who I've known for a while. He's the author of Unbortion and so, many others. Payback's a Witch. He's been writing for a long time too. We're working on something that is another. I think if you like Horsefly, it's not an immersive experience, but it's written in a very fast pace for people with a short attention span that maybe prefer movies.
Mm.
So be on the lookout for that announcement. Um, I have a couple other things that one is more of a philosophical horror book, grand scale, sort of global kind of shit, without giving too much away. And then another one that is like a ghostly kind of joint, but
Okay.
it is true splatterpunk as well. So it's like my ghost books, the ghosts don't just go boo. They do some really fucked up shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those are kind of the things I'm working on, and I've already announced like I have two more books in the Playground series that I'm going to be working
Wow.
on.
Okay. Very
So I'm
exciting.
pretty open about that because people ask about it a lot.
Yeah.
And there's Playground, then there's the prequel, Child of Divorce. So these books are going to take place in the future. We're going
Deep.
to be leaving the playground atmosphere
Yeah.
that is the Borden estate, which the first two books are in. And
Hmm.
I've got some really fresh, fun shit that's going to follow the surviving characters. It's gonna be really cool. So
Amazing, man. Super, super exciting stuff. Absolutely. And I guess in terms of following you, Instagram and TikTok, best places?
yeah, I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, pop into X occasionally. Most Probably the best place to follow me though would be on my Substack, Aron Beauregard
Okay.
Substack. I have a maggot mailing list, and basically you could join that for free. And anytime I do a release uh, or a cover reveal, you'll see it there. I also do like let you know if there's like a sale on signed shit in my store
Oh
or
yeah.
if like new products appear. So that's a good way to never miss anything because it sends you an email directly with
Mm,
the updates. And
amazing.
abhorror.com is where all my signed books, merch, t-shirts, everything under the sun that I sell directly is there.
Mm,
And I do sell to the UK as well. The shipping is a little pricey, unfortunately.
mm.
Um, but if you don't want signed stuff too, and it's too expensive, Amazon's a great way to actually get it relatively
Yeah,
affordable.
absolutely. Well, I'll put all of those links in the show notes, links to your website, links to your Substack. I think I'm gonna have to join that Substack as well, Aaron. Now you've definitely sold it to me. Um,
Thanks.
Amazing. So I'll put all those links in so all of our audience can hopefully follow you, keep up to speed with what you're releasing as well. But yeah, I can't wait to check out Horsefly. Looking forward to reading it. So thanks so much for joining me, especially on the release day. And you said you got some plans. You're gonna be getting shit faced. Did you say?
I gotta do a little celebrating at least.
Yeah, you've got to. Yeah, man.
Just a little bit. I'll do a little work first. Yeah, and then I'll go make some mistakes.
Go make some mistakes. Absolutely.
That's the
Avoid.
only way you learn.
Yeah, of course. Thanks to everybody for listening. Hope you enjoyed the show. Become a patron at patreon.com/horror hangout. And yeah, we'll catch you next time. Thanks very much for joining us, Aaron.
Thanks for having me. Take care,
You're
everyone.
welcome. Take care. See ya.